Jovin, you so dumb. Hey friends, welcome back to another Slumber ParTEA. I know what you're thinking, like, girl, where are you in? I was sad. Okay. I'm not gonna hold you. I should have pre-recorded the videos before hitting the weekend, but then like I don't, or something else pops up, and then plus I was more so rebranding, as you could say. I started a new venture. I obviously, as you can tell, the intro is different. So obviously I had to take that opportunity to rebrand. So if you need any graphic works, flyers, logo creation, the whole 9 yards, baby. I took a graphic design class in college and I never thought I'd use it. I just took it because I needed the credit. And here I am. So I hope y'all like the intro. A little something, something. So I've been busy like rebranding, switching things around, the whole 9 yards, and basically enjoying myself. So that's where I've been. I apologize. But y'all can't stay mad at me. So I'm gonna take this opportunity to shout out my business page. We back with story time to be up and running as it pertains to business pages. So if you need like YouTube banners, you need anything that has to do with anything, baby, hit me up. I'm a jack of all trades. It's the one stop shop right here. Look, you don't even gotta do too much. I do it all. So hit me up if you ever need anything. Only hit up my business page. Don't be hitting up my personal page on some business stuff. Okay? Don't do that. I'm not gonna reply. I'm gonna see it and I'm not gonna reply. Purposefully. Keep it divided. Just like our finances. Okay, let me stop playing. I hope y'all like the intro to all that yapping I'm doing. Let's get into today's story. It's gonna be sweet, short, and simple. You know how to slow down for that one. Sweet, short, and simple. Okay. Anyways, today we're gonna talk about why I never really celebrated my birthday. It's definitely one of those flashbacks. So stay in there with me. I mean, hang in there with me, and like it's all gonna connect. So when I was younger, I didn't know that I didn't really have it like that until I got older. I was in this well protected delusional bubble. I mean, I knew we weren't rich, but like my mom made it work each and every time. So like I never questioned anything. I never, like, that's what I'm saying. I was well guarded as it pertained to like what was really going on in life of us not really having it. Like that's, and when I say protected, I mean like we would do movie nights. We would like she would like when Redbox. Remember when Redbox was a thing, baby? We would go to Redbox. She would rent our movies. We watch movies. We go get snacks. Like the whole 9 yards. Like that's what I'm saying. There's so many memories that I can look back on that I'd be like, yeah. And nowhere in my little mind that I think like we don't really got it like that. I mean, obviously when you go to school, you understand there is a difference. I was in a way content with where I was, not really, but I was. Okay. So for the most part, like I knew we didn't really have it like that, but at the same time, I could tell my mom was making it work. It wasn't until like bam, you get into school and you start seeing the division on where you stand economically. It's like, oh, okay. But it wasn't really like more so like social class. I didn't understand the social classes and all that. Like I didn't really think anything of it. That's what I'm trying to get. I didn't think anything of it as it pertains to like the social classes because yeah, you got this, you got that. I could get two. So I really just made it work with what I had. Like I was an expensive kid. I ain't gonna lie. I'm not gonna hold. I was one of those kids I would walk into places like, especially back to school. Great example. So back to school, it's time to grab backpacks. So you go to the store, and I wouldn't even look at the price tag. Keep in mind, like I told y'all, we ain't never had it like that. I never looked at the price tag. I would just grab it, and my mom would be like, "So how much is it?" I don't know, but it's cute. And she's like, "You need to go check the price." So boom, check the price. It was a little crazy. I'd be like $30, $30 for a backpack. Girl, put that back. So don't get me wrong, like every now and then, she would let me get stuff, but for the most part, like basically budgeting. That yeah, it's kind of we were basically budgeting, but before I understand what budgeting was, like don't splurge. That's what I mean by budgeting. Inexpensive, like don't splurge too much. We got other stuff to do with the money. That makes sense. Okay, exactly. But I'm not gonna hold you shout out to Uncle Love. Cause like on my birthdays, he would take me shopping. Um, he was like a father figure to me my whole childhood. Crazy thing about it, that uncle who used to take me shopping for my birthday has a daughter, and she was born the same day as me. Girl, you gonna feed me? No, just kidding. That's when I really started getting into fashion too. I'm not gonna hold you because like I didn't really have it like that, but we was gonna cut them clothes and we was gonna make something work. Don't get me wrong, like we wasn't broke. Like my mom would take me shopping. I mean, good 600, 800 on back to school clothes. And that's not even to brag. It's just more so to make y'all understand. Like, yeah, we didn't have it like that, but my mom made it work. So, but that's like the sad part. Who like in the midst of her making it work required her to be at work a lot, and then I had my brother. So then I was taking care of my brother. So like I didn't come to the realization that that wasn't normal in the American society, for like kids to be watching other kids growing up. Like my neighborhood, that's all we did. Kids watch other kids. Like my apartment, I made a friend and she had two brothers and she would watch her brothers. So like to me this was normal. Like everybody just watches their sibling. Apparently it wasn't until I got to college when like nannies were a thing. Like damn, that's a luxury good. Daycare, if you didn't have daycare, like yeah, we had daycare, don't get me wrong, but we wasn't at daycare 24/9 though. So yeah, we did like my mom threw like birthday parties and all that stuff, but it's just like I feel like I just personally wasn't happy with myself. And I can't tell you why. So I'm trying to avoid this story. Big girls don't cry. No, I'm really over it though, so I can explain the story. I was never really happy within my skin, and that's probably more so because your girl was getting bullied at school. I ain't gonna hold you. I was looking back now. That part of my life very important because it made me who I was today as a person. But at the same time, like during that time, it was devastating. I feel like bullying, if anything, thickens your skin. That's just my view. I feel like that really added a little sprinkle as it pertains to like show me what my potentials are because I just felt like now I had something to prove. Cause y'all think y'all gonna bully me and you gonna do what? Do better than me? You dumb. Not saying like bully kids, but at the same time, like it does help mold some people into who they are today. Then I somehow became the bully because like not really somehow I was bullied in school, but at the same time I'm real witty with it, like off the top of my head, like don't try me. So I became the bully. Then I could fight too, so it's just like anymore. So I can fight because I already had this pent up anger in me. Like I was just an angry little kid. I was such an angry little kid. Like I was one of those kids. We all know that kid in school. Like I hung out with the real loud kids. I was very troubled. I ain't gonna hold you. I was very troubled because I started slowly as I got older, realizing where I stood in the social economic aspect of things. And I wasn't happy with being there. Like, I had people in my life that love me, but it's just like, as a kid, you don't realize you know those people love you, but you don't realize the extent of that love until you get older. But I feel like you have to have some appreciation to it. Like, if you just feel like stuff must be handed to you, you're never going to appreciate what people do for you. But when you understand, like, people don't have to do anything for you, then you start to really like, damn, thank you. Like, you really start to be grateful. That's what I'm trying to get at. So, yeah. Looking back now, I was grateful for everybody that stepped in my life. But yeah, real bad kid. I got into so many fights. They told me that if I get into one more fight, I'd be expelled from the school district. Now our districts are very big districts, so that means we would have to move. So it was just all bad. Like I was just really a bad little kid. It's like my mom's African. She's as African as they come. Like, don't do therapy because it's bad for you. Okay, that's my mom. Like, my mom, well, back then. Now she like understands the concept of it, but like being a fob, fresh off the boat. I wasn't really fresh off the boat, but we were like we were still making our way. Okay, I mean, like my mom was a citizen at that point, and I was a citizen under her, but nonetheless, like the system still, I wasn't fully grasping the system. There was still some holes that I need to fill. Okay, as it pertains to like questions and understanding and all that stuff. Okay, exactly. Okay, cool. Bet. So I took it upon myself to go get counseling because like it took for my principal in elementary school to talk to me, and like she put it in perspective for me more so because it's like, girl, your mom is consistently working. You might have not have the luxury of, because they, okay, well, they would have like bring your parents, like in elementary school they had bring your family to breakfast day, where they had like this big family breakfast and you get to bring your parents. And I had invited my mom, but she couldn't come because she was working. Like stuff like that made me so bitter. Like I was just so mad. I don't know who I was mad at, but I was mad at somebody. Like the fact that, yo, you walking into the cafeteria, all these people with their parents. That shit made me so sad as a kid. Like, but big girls don't cry because we over it. But like a lot of stuff like that made me so sad as a kid. So it's like it made me so mad at everybody else. Like it's like you got it, I don't. And I wasn't envious of it. It was just jealousy. I was borderline envious, but more so jealous because it's like I could have it. I am so close to having it, but I don't. And I don't because like my mom's working to get us to a point where like, like she's trying to provide for the family basically. So she has to work. And it's not a two-parent household. It's just her. So I didn't have to step up, but at the same time, like I'm not the type to want to leave her hanging. So like I stepped up in some things. So that's where like watching my sibling came in and all that other stuff. So like growing up before my time, that is something that I did. So I had a lot of questions about life, but at the same time I was still guarded in a way because it's like you're too young to understand it. But I wanted to understand it. So took it upon myself to go to counseling because like my principal had a good point. She was like, your mom works a lot from what I'm understanding. And here you are fighting. But at the same time, I was fighting because why are you talking stuff about me? Why are you making up one thing about me? Them lies. Them lies had me in a chokehold as a kid because I was really confrontational. If you said something, I was going to confront who said something. And if you told me they said something, you come in with them so we could figure this out. There's no more. I wasn't here for the telephone like the she said this and she. I wasn't a telephone type of girl. We're gonna put this on a three-way call. Everybody right in front of each other. Yeah. And yeah. So I really was a hothead. And I had like obviously like family, not really family problems, but like being upset that my mom couldn't experience all the things that I wanted her to experience with me as a kid made me upset. Like, yeah, she, did the whole red box thing and we would do movie nights together. I had good memories, but for the most part, like, I was still upset because there are vital moments in my life that I wanted her to be there in and she couldn't. And that really do stuff to kids. So, boom, went to counseling, like I said. The school counselor, this is middle school year. So, I ended up stop fighting because, like, I didn't want to get expelled from the district. Because like I told y'all, we had a big district. So I didn't want to get expelled from the district. So like now I had to like really learn to control myself as it pertains to my temper because like I can't get expelled from the district. But then again, I was in sixth grade, and this was when elementary had sixth grade. Actually, no, I was in fifth grade. So because I almost got expelled from the district, I remember now. So because I almost got expelled from the district, we ended up having to move. Not really because of that, but my mom ended up moving. Like all the work that she had done, we having to get a house. So we was no longer apartment girlies. We had a house. Okay, so because we had moved, I was now moving to a new elementary school to finish up my sixth grade year. I was pissed. I would have to leave my friends, and then like change for me is so hard. Now looking back, I'm like, it's still a little hard now, but like younger me change for me. Ooh, that was the worst thing you can do. You can steal my food, but don't change anything. Change for me was so difficult as a kid. So, the fact that we had to move, I was so upset. But before we end up moving, cause like I guess we could slide it in there. Cause we are being transparent. Oh, okay. So, anyways, I'm not gonna hold you. At some point in time, like I told y'all, I obviously wasn't happy. Like I was happy, but I wasn't happy. I could like yeah, you'd be like, oh, you can talk to your parent, but it's just like I told y'all, she was working. At some point in time, the thought of me offering myself popped in my head. It wasn't a good attempt at all. I knew I wasn't trying to be like real like dramatic with it. I honestly wasn't happy. I wasn't depressed. Knowing what I know now, I was broke. I was sad because I was broke. I wasn't financially able to do what I wanted to do, and every single thing I wanted to do required money. I was financially locked down, and I just wanted freedom, financial freedom. That's what I wanted. I craved it so desperately, but I didn't understand at the time that I craved it so desperately, and I wasn't willing to figure out what was making me as angry as I was. Like I wasn't willing to self-reflect. So I, in some way, shape, or form, concocted the idea. The best way to do is just like end it all, and just cut it short. Cause like life at that point, I didn't understand life could get better. I was just so caught in what was going on around me that I just thought it wouldn't get better. And we just have to did it here and then. So, with that being said, like I told you, I knew that I didn't want to like do the whole like cutting thing. I know I didn't want to do that because like my confidence might have been do at the bottom, but I still like cherished myself as a person. Like this, like baby, we a big body beings, okay? You can't mess this up right now. High maintenance, okay? so, so like I didn't want to leave no scars, nothing. Literally, we was going all in. Me and my mom wasn't really seeing eye to eye during that time either. Like we were really butting heads. So I just felt like, boom, girl, whatever. Didn't feel like anybody really needed me, so I'm like, boom, let's off it. Knew I wasn't gonna go to knife word. I wasn't gonna do that. So we was gonna overdose, and my best friend of choice was Tylenol, cause that's all we had. I should. This is no laughing matter, but that's all we had in the house. We didn't really have like drugs. Okay, so I couldn't really do drugs. Okay, so we didn't really had nothing. So I was like on overdose on Tylenol. Okay, so boom, packed the thing of Tylenol in my hand, took it. And from what I'm assuming, like it's just gonna we just gonna ease into it. We not gonna wake up the next day. Baby, we woke up the next day. We woke up the next day. I was like, I wasn't even, matter of fact, I was so over it. I didn't even do a second attempt because I'm like, are you for real right now? I was pissed off with myself for not executing correctly. So I was like, no, it is what it is. After that, I just like got myself into counseling. Not really got myself into counseling, but like I started, I don't know what got into me for me to be like, I'm gonna go to my school counselor. So went to my school counselor. This is like high school year at this point. Sorry, not high school, middle school year. So middle school year, went to my school counselor. My school counselor, I'm thinking she's supposed to have the little client attorney privilege. Miss me, I'm caught my mom, and I'm depressed. And my mom being an African mom, like first off, mental health. Now more so she understands it. I'm not mentally like unstable anymore. But for the most part, like she understands mental health and like getting it fixed. But like being a fob fresh off the boat, I wasn't fresh off the boat, but we still had like fob tendencies in the mindset. So getting help was just like taboo. Mental health is not really a thing. So the fact that this lady is calling my mom telling her I'm depressed, my mom was freaking out. Okay. My mom told me, she was just like, this lady is gonna put it on your record and no college is gonna want you because now they think you're mentally sick. And I was just so pissed at the lady because why would you call her and tell her I'm depressed? I'm not depressed. Like, girl, what are you talking about? Looking back now, I see where she could have got that from, because I did tell her like I want to be on an island by myself. with nobody bothering me, no nothing. I just want to disappear. And maybe she did take that with me. Like I just more so looking back now needed somebody to listen to me. I never really had somebody to listen to me, no judgment. Like I've done that for other people, but nobody has done it for me. So I'm thinking like this is my time to share that. So like maybe my thoughts were too deep for her. Okay, because I was telling her what I've been through, and I've been through a lot. So it's just like maybe she thought because I had been through so many dark things and I want to like be on the island by myself, I'm depressed. I wasn't. Baby, I was requesting a vacation. I like, yes, I was a sad kid, and yes, like, girl, we tried the attempt thing, but we're over that. Like, we're really over that. I'm so over it. It is what it is. And more so the reason why, like, after the whole attempt thing, we really like mentally, maybe I was at some point depressed, but I'm in and out about it. But the reason like we never tried another attempt is because when my mom, I don't remember how she found out, but my mom did find out that I tried offering myself with Tylenol. She called me selfish, and she was like, the fact that you think that nobody cares about you shows how selfish of a person you are. And that really put life into perspective for me because at that point I'm thinking nobody needs me, but that's because like nobody told me that they needed me. But that's not to say that nobody needs me in per se. Like all the friends that you have helped as it pertains to like telling them to keep going and live, and then for you to do that, like what example are you leading? And it was a whole conversation of its own. And it made me realize maybe what I was doing was heavy selfish because like I mean she ain't say she needed me, but it was just more so like yeah. Yeah. So boom. Now we moved into the house. The house is where I middle school year. In middle school years when I talked to the counselor and the counselor called my mom, telling my mom depressed, and I was like, no bueno. So yeah, I was just pissed with her because why would you say that, girl? Like, anyways, so I never went back to her again. Never went back. I just kept all my feelings to myself. And I was still like, I was less of a bitter kid, but I was still a bitter kid. Like, obviously, I knew I couldn't get into any altercation because I was still in the school district. I was middle school year. I still did get into it with people, but I didn't get into it as much. So, elementary school, we was just like, we was beating on kids because they just had so much to say. I was still very confrontational middle school year. Middle school year, this boy also came back and was like, "Remember me when you used to bully me?" But it's like, boy, you used to bully me too. Like, why are we doing this? Middle school year was very strange. But the boy who I used to bully, I didn't bully him. I just told him because he was trying to comfort me, y'all. He was talking about your Air Forces are fake, blah, 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 blah. Remember when your parent goes shopping for shoes and they be like, no, these are nice? Yeah. Yeah. Like, my mom would go shopping for my clothes and like she being her like I said, we have fresh off the boat tendencies, meaning not really know designer stuff. So it's just like she don't know what she's looking for. She just know what I told her. So maybe my Air Forces had more holes in it than they were supposed to. But that's because my mom didn't know they weren't supposed to have that many holes. Okay? Exactly. Okay. So this little boy coming at me and then like yeah, but your teeth crooked. You got rice grain teeth. Yeah, when I tell y'all I was so quick with them comebacks. So he thought I was bullying him. He got his older brother because I used to walk because my elementary school was so close to my house. Sorry, this is a lot. This is stories within a story, but it's all gonna connect. Stick it with me. So on my like I would walk to school like I said, and he had got his brother to pick him up from school one day because he lived close by the school too. Like we walked the same path, but we would branch off. So it's just like we never really walked together, but we, walked together. At some point, we would have to branch off and cross. Like I would have to cross the street, and he would just keep going straight. Yeah, he got his older brother to stuff my face in the snow. And I cried. I went home crying. I was bawling. Definitely remember that memory. So for middle school year, for him and Papa would be like, "Remember you used to bully me," and he was kind of cute now. I ain't gonna hold you. I'm like, wow, how to look grown. But it's just like you over here, you want to do that. Why are we bringing up like dead stuff? You got your lick back by getting my face stuffed in the snow. We're even. We're even. Fast forward now, he's locked up. Like what? Yeah, long story short, Buddy, he tried to be he tried to join the streets. It didn't really work out for him too well. He was sloppy with his street activities. He had he was carrying a piece with him, a Nina, I'm trying to think of all the slangs that y'all can understand and connect the dots without me saying it, because I really like be treading lightly with the YouTube rules. So he happened to be carrying his Nina with him, and then Mr. Sir so dumb. He didn't have it in a holster or anything. Like, he didn't have it like well protect, like well, I don't want to say protected, well put up. He didn't have it well put up. Okay, that's what I mean. He didn't have it well put up, and it had fell. That's rumor. Rumor around town is like he didn't have it well put up. It fell and it slipped in front of the cops. I I don't know how true that was, but for sure, he was locked up. So now we in middle school. Middle school was very hectic. I went back into the whole like counseling scene, cause at that point my overthinking started. That's when I realized I was an overthinker, because I'm in middle school and here I am stressing about college. I'm not only stressing about college because like I don't think I'm gonna be accepted in college, because like boom, I know high school is next. After high school is college. I'm like, whoa, it's not moving fast, but it's moving fast. So I started like overthinking the whole process, and I'm like, I need to get ready. So I'm talking to my counselor, like, I need to get ready. So she puts me in a college readiness program. And then I start crying to her, like, I'm not sure if I'm gonna be a good mom. Why I'm thinking about kids is crazy. Keep in mind, I'm not one of those girls. I've never been one of those girls. Like, I plan out my whole wedding. This is the color board. I've never been one of those kids. Baby, I knew I was gonna have kids. When I was gonna have kids, I don't know. But I skipped over the whole marriage thing. It was just graduate, I'm a family. The details about kids and getting a man, like, obviously I know how kids come to be a thing, but I never like got into details. Like, I knew I was gonna be married, but like the whole marriage thing and like what color the wedding dress was gonna be in the venue, I never got into that. I don't know. Yeah. So middle school year was more confusing, because like that's when like actualizing um grown men finding me attractive became a thing. But that's a story for another time, and we definitely gonna talk about that, on how that like molded me as a person, because I would say that molded me as a person. Anyways, so give me the story. So middle school year came. Middle school was a hot mess. I was falling out with a lot of people because like I just felt like they were immature. At some point in time, I got so over the drama. Like, I started, when I realized life was getting closer, I started becoming over the drama. Okay, I was so over the drama. Like, it was just so much gossip going on. I was just so over it. I just wanted like people who were aligned with me. So I got in this college readiness program and did that whole thing. I went back to counseling. The counselor that I had was in her 20s. She was really nice, and like she ain't never called my mom and told my mom I was depressed. She literally, she's the one that made me like realize. She was like, you're just going through a midlife crisis. Yes, you're young, like you're in your teens and you're going through this, but you're just trying to figure out who you are as a person. So like she brought everything into perspective for me. um and then she had to like branch off to do her own thing, because she was part of a program and the program was linked to my school, but then she had to go. And then they was bringing a new lady in. And then the new lady came in, and she was trying to say I was depressed too. And I didn't like that. Like, one thing I don't like is labels. Don't try to tell me what I am, because I know what I am. I might be in denial sometimes, but I can claim what I am. And depressed is not one of them. Like, girl, I'm just sad. I'm a sad kid who had grown up before their time. And I still don't fully grasp or understand like what's going on, but I know that apparently this is not normal. I literally even told my mom one time, I'm like, other kids don't do that. Like, because for instance, I ran track in high school, right? And my mom would make me fill out all the permission slips and stuff, and then she would just sign it. So I would have to read it and just sign it. And I had brought it to her attention. I'm like, okay, other kids' parents don't do that. Like, they fill out everything and they sign it. And she's like, well, you're not other people's kids. And so like, like the laid back luxury life. No, I never had that. Like, we was hands on every single time. Like, started hustling early. Just kidding. But yeah, so for the most, get me wrong, I was still getting into it in like high school. I mean, middle school and high school, because I was still confronting motherfuckers. Like, yeah, yeah. Like I told y'all, it wasn't until college when like we had our like legal encounter. Like I simmered down though. College, I simmered down just a tad bit, but then like after we had like our first legal encounter, I really like tightened the grip and did that. We don't get down like that. Cool that temple. So I really like went down to the drawing board. But the second counselor I had, the girl that was in her 20s, like she really did her big one for me, because we really went in depth evaluating my feelings and like what causes my anger. Like that's when I really, so it was a great time for me. And keep in mind, all this time, I'm not really like, I'm celebrating my birthday, but I'm not really celebrating my birthday. Each year my birthday rolls around, I get sad. I got super sad. Like, I don't want to do nothing. I would be in my room crying each and every year. Every year. October 26th hits. I don't care how happy I am, how great life is going. I am bawling each and every year in my room, sad. Okay. And if I can't be sad because my mom's like doing a little like family only party for me, I would do it the day before, the night after, or I would do it. It was like a routine. We would cry. I didn't want it to be a routine, but it had became a routine where it's like I would cry. More so I was crying because I was getting older and I felt like I wasn't accomplishing anything. And it was like I wasn't understanding that I was young. Like, dude, you're a teen. What do you want to accomplish? I don't know. I like the unknown was just driving me crazy. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but I was just really sad on my birthday. It wasn't until college when I got my big girl job. I was working in corporate America. Okay. I was working in corporate America. Yeah. I got my big girl job. And when I got my big girl job, I had before I got my big girl job, okay, because I still had my big girl job. Let me wind down. I still had my big girl job. My first birthday with my big girl job, I didn't do anything. And I was in my room crying, bawling. Okay. Like usual. My dad had invited me out to see him. Um, you know, and then my cousin was with me because I was too young to be on the plane. It was like somebody should be there type stuff. I think that's an agreement like him and my mom had. I don't understand how the process worked. All I knew is I went to see my dad for a family reunion that they had. This was my first time meeting my dad's side of the family. And here I was with this kid who happened to have the same birthday as me. Like, we was both born in October. I'm older than him by several days. And we were on this plane together, and like we ordered coffee. And I just felt like a big girl because like I wasn't even supposed to be drinking coffee, and here I am drinking coffee. And like I put creamer in mine because I would see my mom do it, so I put creamer in mine and sugar, and I put a lot of creamer because like it was bitter. He didn't put creamer in his, but he didn't like at first he didn't, and he didn't like it, and then he put a lot of creamer in his. And then I ended up making his coffee for him. So that was like going to Maryland, and then coming back we tried to order coffee again, but we couldn't because the flight attendant had asked us like if we're old enough. He asked us for our age, but the first lady didn't, so it was a bummer coming back to Minnesota. But going to visit my dad for their family reunion was fun because like we got coffee. And then like while we were at the family reunion, like I'm one of those people, like I stick with who I come with unless I come with myself. And I was just with him the whole time. Like we had like older cousins, but our older cousins like y'all too young. Like it was one of those like y'all too young. So we would just hang together. Yeah. So after the trip, we weren't like locked in close because like everybody had to go their separate ways. But I had his social media. And it had came to my attention like while I was in college. The news got broken to me that the news got broken to me that he had passed away, and that killed me because it's like we were delusional together. Like he was the first person I had told, other than these counselors, that I wasn't happy in life. But we knew that when we hit 21, we was gonna tee up together. The biggest thing was like 21. And if 21 wouldn't work out, cause like 21, everybody want to be 21 because you can do stuff. You can't really do stuff. You can just drink, but it's just like everybody else doing this. So like 21 was the big age for us. And then my golden birthday was when I'm 26. So for our golden birthday, first we would celebrate my golden birthday. We planned this all out during the family reunion. During the family reunion is when we really planned this out. So for my golden birthday, we celebrate mine. And then when his came several days later, well, like several years later, because he's days apart from me, but like it would be years until he hits his golden birthday. We would go all out, and like that's what we had planned. And like finding out like Buddy was gone, it didn't feel real. It did it. And I didn't go to his funeral. I didn't go because like I'd like to think that he's still alive. Like I just feel like if I didn't go to say goodbye, like it's not a goodbye. Like, bro, you still here? Like, what are you talking about? So I didn't go. I couldn't go. I couldn't get myself to go at all. Like I just mentally I didn't want to believe it was true, but like it wasn't true. So I was like I said, I was in college, and anybody in college knows like I used to get dressed for class. When I say dress, I mean like makeup. I wasn't insecure. I was just like I wasn't insecure. I just wanted to like beat my race. I just wanted like your first impression type stuff. But in college, you have more free time than you do in high school. So I would dress to impress nobody really, but like I would dress up. After like I got the news about him, like I was sweatpants in it. Like you would think it was finals week. It's finals week, you know, you wear your sweatpants, you wear whatever. I was just like, I was so spaced out. Looking back, like it wasn't until later on I started looking back. I started realizing like I don't really have good people around me as it pertains to friends because I was at that low point in my life and nobody really noticed. Nobody once like actually one person noticed. One person noticed, that was my boyfriend who didn't know he was my boyfriend. Other than that, like nobody really realized that I shut down. Like I wasn't fully there, engaged with them. That made me evaluate my circle on who I was really hanging with. So I fell off with a lot of people from that time. And then it made me realize like, damn, at any point in time, like you could be gone. Celebrate. You gotta celebrate. And from that point on, like when I finally got out that space, I promised myself I'm gonna live it up for the both of us. So I started celebrating my birthday. And for 22nd birthday, um, I had went to Chicago, and like I you had a blast. Like I had so much of a good time. Y'all, I was on a plane drunk. I had a 6 a.m. flight, and I had got home at like 4 a.m. and I had to take a shower. I was in the shower drunk, and not trying to do nothing. I mean, like but I'm still functioning. I got on that plane. I got home. And don't ever be wasted and go on a plane. They tell you airplane drunk ain't nothing to play with. Baby, it's not. Like the altitude and it was all bad. It was all bad. Like I feel like I was getting wasted all over again. Yeah, so I lived it up for my 22nd, and 23 hit. I was working. I wasn't in a good space in life again. Like I felt like I was repeating the cycle, but I wasn't repeating the cycle because like I didn't celebrate none for my birthday, but that's because we had so much stuff going on. So it's like I couldn't. So the sacrifice I was making for not celebrating my birthday is okay. It's good. And that sacrifices the whole like me driving back to forth for school, and like I couldn't blow a bag for a birthday when I needed to put that money towards gas to drive back to school because baby this is when COVID hit. Not really COVID, but this was like our recession time when gas was literally like $51. For me it was $51. I got the pictures. I was sad seeing them gas prices. But when gas was outrageous, that's when I was doing that driving back and forth. So I really was just focused on graduating. Nothing more, nothing less. So yeah, that's what we didn't do nothing for my 23rd birthday. Just looking back now, obviously I'm nowhere where I used to be. Nowhere where I used to be. And we got it out the mud for real. I just joke about everything. I do a lot of self-reflecting each and every day. Um I'm consistently evaluating myself to make sure like I'm the best me I can be. So yeah. And like life gonna do what life do. I can't control what life does. But how I respond to it is something I can't control. So I always try to make like the best out of each devastating situation. Like I like to think everything happens for a reason. And I would say the reason I haven't relapsed on being sad and when I am sad, I'm not sad for long is because I always try to have a positive perspective on life. It's harder said than done. I'm not gonna lie to you. Being sad or depressed is all about your perspective on life. I literally met this kid, which is a story all of us on, but I met somebody who would like literally shine light on their depression. Like they were taking pills for it and all that stuff, and they would shed light on it, and they would always be like, "Oh, I'm so sad," for people to pity them. And at that point, I realized like you don't really want to feel better. Like you have to want to feel better to start the journey. So yeah.